without any further ado, let's begin with the first session. And let me tell you slightly about the germination of the idea of this conclave. Accept it or not, we cannot deny the fact that State Bank of Sikkim has played a very, very important role, an accelerating role in the economic development of the state of Sikkim. So as we celebrate 50th years of statehood, I must say that the journey for State Bank of Sikkim has really been a challenging one as well as an incredible one. Well, the main function would be held on 9th of August, or 9th of September. And of course, the Honorable Chief Minister will be attending as the chief guest. Today is the curtain raiser for the celebration. We know many things are happening nationally and globally. When we talk nationally, we know that the GST Council, in fact, has introduced 3 new slabs of GSTs, which would come in effect from 22nd of September. And we have to wait and watch as how it would affect the, common man, whether it will be a boon or a bane for the common people. That is a subject matter to be pondered on a national level. This is a very fresh news of yesterday. When we talk about global, the man of the moment, Mr. Donald Trump, who in fact has been, introducing the tariff on tariff, even not sparing its allies, has created so much of debate, and how it would affect, in fact, one of its allies, India, is a subject matter which would be discussed in the second session. But let's not forget that the first session, as we have named, State Bank of Sikkim, 58 years of legacy, the journey and the roadmap ahead, we will ponder more on the journey, the challenges, the transformation the bank has gone through 58 years. And who could be the better person than the captain of the ship? It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Mr. Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. I would say a visionary leader who is leading his team, the State Bank of Sikkim, holding the post of the Managing Director. I will be having a one-to-one conversation with Mr. Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. Mr. Phurba Wangdi is a passionate banker engaged in banking for the last 35 years. Having joined as a probationary officer in a nationalized bank in 1989 in rural northeastern state of India, he has seen the rural economic condition of the country from a very close quarter. From the time of Integrated Rural Development Program, popularly known as IRDP, till now he has actively participated in all poverty alleviation program of the government. Having posted in rural branches in the state of Assam, Manipur, West Bengal and Sikkim, he has vast experience in rural financing and financial inclusion in the remote villages. He has worked extensively to uplift rural people, to strengthen rural economy by empowering them financially. He is an ardent advocate of development through banking and believes that the banking industry of the country has a very vast potential to develop this country economically. After working in the nationalized bank for 22 years, he joined Government of Sikkim-owned State Bank of Sikkim in 2012 and is presently heading it as the Managing Director since 2020. He is solely instrumental in turning around this small bank of 58 years, which operate outside the purview of the Banking Regulation Act. During the period of demonetization in December 2016, he was instrumental in successful implementation of demonetization in the bank, despite the bank remaining outside the regulatory provision of the Reserve Bank of India. From a small, shabby bank to its new formed image of modern and forward-looking bank, the credit for its total transformation goes to Mr. Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. Today, the bank is taking all kinds of innovative steps to improve its financial image. From a small business of less than 1,500 crores in 2012 to over 10,000 crore business today, the State Bank of Sikkim has taken a huge stride under the stewardship of Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome on stage, ladies and gentlemen, our panelist, Mr. Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome everyone to the State Bank of Sikkim Conclave SBS at 58. All right, So let me start and congratulate the MD and the entire team of SBS, who has been really, really instrumental in taking bank a way forward, what a common person have expected, right? I strongly feel that State Bank of Sikkim is not just an institution or an organization. It is an emotion for the people who regard it as an identity, right? And we know the reason for why. And it has become a very, very important partner and component in the economic progress of the state. Sir, I just would like to begin asking you, so far, how the journey has been for State Bank of Sikkim before I come to the genesis and the history of the bank.
Thank you, Nirmal, and thank you, everybody. And thank you for your elaborate introduction. You know, I don't know how far I deserve to get that kind of description on me, you know. And I also don't know how much I contributed in developing State Bank of Sikkim, and for that matter, in the economic development of the state. But thank you very much for your kind words. As you asked, you know, how we are moving forward, you know, State Bank of Sikkim is here. State Bank of Sikkim, which operates outside the purview of Banking Regulation Act. But then I must tell you that we follow each and every guidelines that is there under Banking Regulation Act, and as far as the guidelines of Reserve Bank of India, we try to follow. So State Bank of Sikkim is a quasi-treasury for the state government of Sikkim, and as well as we function like any other banking institutions in the country.
Exactly. So I was doing my research and I came across to this interesting, very, very interesting some of the facts. You know, Sikkim trend of this banking especially was started long time back in 1889, especially by the first British political officer, John Claude White. अनि त्यति बेला चाहिँ दुईजना व्यक्ति है जेठमल भोजराज राइट जेठमल भोजराजलाई चाहिँ उहाँहरूलाई जिम्मा दिएको थियो है ब्याङ्क खोल्ने जिम्मा दिएको थियो अनि तत्पश्चात उहाँहरूले चाहिँ गभर्नमेन्टको लागि ब्याङ्किङ गर्दै आएको कुरो यहाँनिर लिटरेचरमा उल्लेख गरेको छ अनि आफ्टर द्याट यु नो आई मिन इट वाज इन 1968 थ्रु रोयल प्रोक्लेमेसन छोगेल पाल्देन थन्डुप नामगेलको रोयल प्रोक्लेमेसनमा चाहिँ स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ सिक्किम गठन भएको And you know, there is a quote which Chogil stated, and I've taken this from the Sikkim Herald, if I'm not wrong. त्यति बेला जब 1968 मा State Bank of Sikkim inaugurate भएको थियो, he had beautifully quoted, and I quote this. The Chogil had stated, "A landmark in the economic history of Sikkim, as banking is more than any money lending. It is the fountain of progress. It is an institution of social services and economic prosperity." So, how far you have been able to live up to the vision which the Chogel Palden Thondup Namgel envisaged?
Firstly, I would like to mention here, you know, that people often get confused between Jetmal Bozraz and State Bank of Sikkim. You know, so I would like to clarify one thing for everybody, that Jetmal Bozraz and State Bank of Sikkim are two different entities. Jetmal Bozraz came into being in Sikkim as a banker to the Chogel, the government of Sikkim that time, because before that the Sikkim didn't had a formal kind of financial establishment in Sikkim. So the John Claude White, the first political officer in Sikkim, realized that Sikkim also needs a formal kind of financial system. So for that, Jetmal Bozraz was already operating as a banker, private banker in other part in India, you know, especially in Darjeeling districts that time. So J.C. White, I think he invited Jetmal Bozraz also to set up a similar kind of establishment in Sikkim. So he established Jetmal Bozraz in Sikkim. So Jetmal Bozraz started functioning as a banker to the government that time. But in early 1960s, I think a realization came in the establishment that like by that time, I think State Bank of India was already established through its SBI Act in 1935, which acted as the central bank of the country. Later on, after formation of Reserve Bank of India, the State Bank of India, I think, handed over that central bank function to the Reserve Bank of India, and State Bank of India became an independent banking institution in Sikkim. Similarly, in Sikkim also, in early 90s when that realization came, so a thought came that we should also have a proper financial bank, financial institution, which can act as a banker to the government. So with that vision, I think the government of Sikkim that time consulted with Reserve Bank of India and many other eminent financial experts. So in consultation with Reserve Bank of India, the proclamation of State Bank of India, Sikkim, is framed. And later on in 1968, after much discussion, the Chogyal proclaimed that as a State Bank of Sikkim proclamation in 1960. And that is how State Bank of Sikkim came into being in Sikkim. But then still people are confused, and still people comes to us, with those revenue receipt issued by Jetmal Bhojraj, no? And the people comes and says, this is your receipts, you should attest it, आजकल RC issues of RC जरुमा हैन हामीलाई भन्छ कि तपाईहरुले यसलाई अटेस्ट गरिदिनु पर्छ. And then I tell State Bank of Sikkim र Jetmal Bhojraj चाहिँ अलग-अलग चीज हो. न त State Bank of Sikkim Jetmal Bhojraj को हो, न त Jetmal Bhojraj को के अरे यसको कुनै लेना देना छ हो. So how can we attest Jetmal Bhojrajले इस्यु गरेको रिसिटलाई चाहिँ हामी कसरी attest गर्नु भनेर भन्छौं क्या. So there is a clear distinction between Jetmal Bhojraj र State Bank of Sikkim. So State Bank of Sikkim 1968 मा पुरा नयाँ तौरमा आफ्नै बैंकको तौरमा established भएको. So this is the difference between Jetmal Bhojraj and State Bank of Sikkim. Now for your second part question, how State Bank of Sikkim is contributing in the economic development of the Sikkim, if you ask, since 1968, we are a part of government of Sikkim. Since the government of Sikkim is the owner of State Bank of Sikkim, its board of directors are appointed or nominated by the government of Sikkim. So we follow the guidelines issued by the government of Sikkim, and then we take part in each and every developmental programs the government of Sikkim thinks that the State Bank of Sikkim is capable of taking up.
Exactly. So तपाईलाई म जानकारीमा ल्याउन चाहन्छु कि 9 September 1968 मा MGमा एउटा रेन्टेड अपार्टमेन्ट प्रिमाइसेसमा State Bank of Sikkim ले आफ्नो अपरेसन सुरु गर्नुभएको with only 10 staff, right, headed by the clerk हुनुहुन्थ्यो. अनि I think जब प्रोक्लेमेसन भयो त्यति बेला the first board of director मा हुनुहुन्थ्यो राई बहादुर Pvt and others. I think we should remember him as we celebrate 58 years. र अर्को कुरो म तपाईलाई इन्फर्मेसनमा ल्याउन चाहन्छु कि bank started, please correct me if I'm wrong, bank started its operation with just a capital of rupees 19 lakh. And interestingly, first September मा सुरु भएको थियो, first 4 months मा bank went through a loss of 15,000. अनि after that, following year 1969 मा चाहिँ bank made a profit of 1,31,250. I'm sure this has not come down, and it has increased every year, right?
Absolutely.
What is the annual turnover?
Any business establishment, and for that matter, for any bank, it starts with a small capital. So 19 lakhs was what the equity subscription was made by the then Chogyal and the individuals then, That 19 lakhs today has grown to around 180 crores is what the capital of the State Bank of Sikkim as of now. As you mentioned that that 15,000 loss and then 1,31,000 profit that time. Today it is much more. Today, in terms of volume of business, as you asked, we have crossed an important milestone of 10,000 crore today.
That is amazing. I think we should have a big round of applause for this. What is the dividend you pay to the government like last financial year?
Last year we paid 1 crore 31,000, so that constituted 250% of the capital what the state government is having with the State Bank of Sikkim.
Great. And this must have not been possible without the strong team support. Tell us, कतिजना employee छ तपाईको, कतिवटा branches? I think your bank has the maximum branches all across Sikkim.
Yeah. So we are celebrating 58 years of its establishment, and today, as of now, we also have 58 branches spread all across the state, and we have tried to cover each and every towns and villages in Sikkim.
That is amazing, amazing. So, sir, you as a team leader and the entire entity as a SBS, have this far-sighted vision of taking bank to the next level when it comes in terms of banking. तर एसबीएसलाई जहिले पनि मान्छेले एउटा लोन लिने एउटा एन्टिटीको रूपमा मात्रै हेर्दैछ. And we know that this is open truth. Everyone says SBS is the very easiest commodity to get the loan भनेर भन्छ. I mean, is it a misconception? Is it true? What you have to say?
यो चाहिँ कस्तो हो भने, I think we are people friendly. Okay, user friendly भन्छ नि. I think we may be little user friendly to the people of Sikkim. है, हाम्रोमा आउँदाखेरि मान्छेहरू त्यसै पनि they comes with a lot of hopes, and I believe comfort and system, I think it is loan लिने तरिका दिने तरिका जुन चाहिँ छ, I think this is similar to other banks, and in fact our banker friends are here, so all these banks are having a lot of schemes for the people, but even then people like State Bank of Sikkim, and for that matter I'm really thankful and grateful to the people of Sikkim for believing in the State Bank of Sikkim and patronizing State Bank of Sikkim. No other, without the support of the people of Sikkim and the government of Sikkim, I think the journey which we have done so far would not have been possible. So thanks to each and every citizens of Sikkim, from a very small person, rural class agriculturist, from the big businessman in Sikkim, and from every small employees to the higher bureaucrats in the state. And especially I'd like to express my sincere thanks to our government of Sikkim, especially our Honorable Chief Minister Sri P.S. Tamang sir, for appointing me as its leader, as the managing director in 2020. Because before that, State Bank of Sikkim was always headed by a person, from the bureaucratic level. I'm not a bureaucrat that way, so all our senior bureaucrats from state government used to head this bank. And this is for the first time, the vision and the wisdom of the Honorable Chief Minister. He chose me as its managing director. And from 2019 onwards, our graph has changed.
Right. So leadership comes with a challenge, right? Ani SBS ko lagi, hami as a journalist, what we feel is that recovery is one of the biggest challenges, and to deal with the defaulters is something which you need to really have a leadership quality. SBS ko jati pani defaulters hununcha, or people who have not paid loan after taking hefty amount, how are you dealing with them? Ani recovery rate kasto cha tapaharuko, katiko successful cha? Because I think government also has come up with this recovery act.
Yeah, so I'll take this opportunity to thank the government of Sikkim, who have been very serious in the recovery of its dues. So So this is the after 2008 when this first the Sikkim SPDR Act, was formulated. So for the first time it is amended by this present government and made it very stringent. And recovery, as far as recovery is concerned, I think this problem is not State Bank of Sikkim specific or Sikkim specific. So this problem is all over the country. So as a banking institutions, when we lend, the NPA portfolio is bound to happen. It's not that when you set up a business or when you start a business, it is not necessary that every business unit has to succeed. So there would be failures. So these failures results in increasing the NPA portfolio. Today, the entire banking industry and the entire banking institutions are wary of these bad portfolios, but somehow recovery is happening. In State Bank of Sikkim also, we are taking stringent actions. We are sealing the properties where, especially in those cases where there are willful defaults are there. Despite having enough cash flow, despite having enough income, they just try to divert their funds elsewhere instead of repaying their dues. So we are taking actions on those cases. But there are a lot of criticisms comes. So we face those criticisms. But then, what I want to tell, I think, through this forum today is that, loan tirnu parcha. There are two truths while taking loans. Euta first satya चाहिँ के हो भने लोन लिँदाखेरि लोन तिर्छु नै भनेर लिएको हुन्छ र अर्को सत्य चाहिँ के हो भने लोन तिरेन भने कुनै पनि ब्याङ्क हो, आइदर इट इज स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ सिक्किम or स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ इन्डिया or any other banks, ब्याङ्कले त्यो लोन उठाउँछ र त्यो उठाउने तरिका मान्छेले याद भएकै कुरो हो. People try to ignore those things, but then, हामीले जुन चाहिँ लोन दिएको छ त्यो ब्याङ्कको आफ्नो पैसा होइन, त्यो सरकारको पैसा पनि होइन, त्यो पैसा पब्लिकको होइन. These are the money deposited by our depositors, patrons. सबै ब्याङ्कमा यही नै हो होइन. We mobilize deposits to lend it to the needy areas मा हामीले lend गर्नु. र हामीलाई त त्यो डिपोजिट गर्नेले त छोड्दैन र हामीले त्यसलाई ब्याज सहित हामीले पनि भुक्तान गर्नै पर्छ होइन. इफ somebody keeps as फिक्स्ड डिपोजिट राख्यो भने हामीले एफडीमा विथ इन्ट्रेस्ट हामीले तिर्नुपर्छ भने जसले चाहिँ ब्याङ्क्सहरूबाट, आइ एम नट टकिङ अबाउट स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ सिक्किम, फर द्याट म्याटर फर अल द ब्याङ्क्स, जुनै ब्याङ्कबाट पनि लोन लिएको छ भने लोन लिनेहरूले त्यो लोन चाहिँ विथ ब्याज है, विथ इन्ट्रेस्ट त्यसलाई फर्काउनै पर्छ. एन्ड देयर इज नो अदर अल्टरनेटिभ टु द्याट.
So do you think like defaulters are taking SBS for granted?
I don't think so. यो चाहिँ बजारमा चलेको कुरा हो, गफ गर्नु पायो मान्छेले होइन. एमजी मार्कको बेन्चमा बसेर people can make reels, people can talk any other things, but then लोन लिने मान्छेलाई मात्रै याद हुन्छ राति सुत्दाखेरि त्यसको कति टाउकोमा बज्छ होइन. ब्याङ्कबाट नोटिस जाँदाखेरि त्यो लोन लिने मान्छेलाई मात्रै याद हुन्छ पिर होइन, पिर कतिको हुन्छ, बाँकी लिएर तिरेन भने चाहिँ त्यसको पिर चाहिँ कतिसम्म हुन्छ. आई थिङ्क माई पर्सनल थट, मेरो पर्सनल थट चाहिँ के हो भने केही पनि गर बाँकी चाहिँ तिर, बाँकी चाहिँ तिरेन भने त्यो लास्ट ब्रेथ लिँदाखेरि पनि डेथ बेडमा हुँदा हस्पिटलमा त्यो सास जाने बेलामा पनि भगवानलाई सम्झिनुको बदला त्यो ब्याङ्कको बाँकी सम्झेर जान्छ मान्छे. र त्यस्तो भयो भने चाहिँ नि वैकुण्ठ चाहिँ पाउँछ जस्तो लाग्दैन मलाई. मेरो सजेसन टु अल द डिफल्टर्स, कम टु द ब्याङ्क. ब्याङ्क हेज इट्स ओन मेकानिजम. तपाईँले तिर्नु सकेन होला, तपाईँको कुनै कारण होला, जेन्युन कारण होला, त्यो ब्याङ्कले बुझ्छ, ब्याङ्कमा आउनु सक्नुहुन्छ. स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ सिक्किममा मात्र होइन, स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ इन्डियामा, सेन्ट्रल ब्याङ्क अफ इन्डियामा, नेसनलाइज प्राइभेट ब्याङ्क जहाँ पनि लोन दिनुभएको छ त्यहाँ जानुहोस्, आफ्नो प्रब्लम इस्युजहरूलाई ब्याङ्कसँग राख्नुहोस्. ब्याङ्कले डेफिनेटली सिम्पेथेटिकली हेर्छ र के कस्तो प्रकारले त्यसलाई सेटल गराउनु पर्ने. ब्याङ्क हेज मेकानिजम. सिक युनिटलाई नर्सिङ पनि गर्छ. त्यसलाई एक्स्ट्रा फन्डिङ गर्नु छ भने त्यो पनि गर्छ, बिकज ब्याङ्क इज अल्सो कन्सर्न. जब ब्याङ्कबाट लोन लिएपछि चाहिँ ब्याङ्क्सलाई चाहिँ त्यो बिजनेसको यु सुड ट्रिट अ ब्याङ्क लाइक इट्स पार्टनर होइन. सो ब्याङ्कलाई पनि त्यति नै कन्सर्न हुन्छ त्यो बिजनेसलाई अघि बढाउनुको लागि. र आफ्नो सबै ब्याङ्कमा आफ्नो मेकानिजम छ, रिकभरी पोलिसिजहरू छ होइन त्यसमा. तर खालि यो होइन कि मैले यति लोनले मेरो इन्ट्रेस्ट माफ देऊ भनेर मात्रै कुद्नु पनि भएन. इन्ट्रेस्ट माफ दिने पनि त्यसको कुनै कारण हुनु पर्यो होइन. त्यो कारणहरू छ भने I think banks will definitely they'll take a sympathetic look into it.
Exactly. Sir, State Bank of Sikkim ko media sanga love and hate relationship raheko cha hai. Ani that was so evident during demonetization 2016 ma. I'm sure you remember that. किनभने जब demonetization भयो त्यति बेला as per your literature so much of witch hunting was done for SBS, taking its existence and even the protection under 371 F लाई लिएर नि. I mean, you tried to face that, and you tried to tell people कि होइन, I mean State Bank of Sikkim लाई demonetization ले के पनि असर पारेको छैन भन्दाखेरि. What was the Brahmastra you used at that point of time?
I know Brahmastra I think we didn't have any such Brahmastra. We were under tremendous pressure that time, but एउटा चाहिँ के भने नि, I really appreciate critics, because I feel criticisms are the pillar, on which we can improve ourselves, so those criticisms are taken very, very constructively, and all the media criticism that came through, helped us a lot, because we were just taking those criticism as an suggestions, what is coming through, and we were just trying to improve upon those things, and जति पनि demonetization मा जति पनि criticisms आयो, thankfully, I really thank the Almighty and all my colleagues in the banks and support from the people, that we proved everything wrong. What was there, what was cooking up, धेरै किसिमको स्टोरिजहरू बनाएर त्यति बेला डिमोनिटाइजेसन स्टेट ब्याङ्क अफ सिक्किममा यति 1000 करोड आयो, त्यति 1000 करोड आयो, यस्तो भयो त्यस्तो भयो भनेर भन्यो. Even I think we had a kind of income tax rate त थिएन, but then immediately after this demonetization, a team of income tax people came to State Bank of Sikkim to investigate into things, but then they didn't find anything, and in fact we were moving ahead of time. So we imposed certain criteria, accepting those old notes, and we said कि जसले पनि State Bank of Sikkim मा आफ्नो पुरानो नोट जम्मा गर्छ, we will accept that, because as a banker हाम्रो people मान्छे जति जना हाम्रो डिपोजिटर्सहरुको थियो, मान्छेको पैसा त हुन्छ हैन. त्यति बेला सबैकोमा पुरानो नोट मात्रै थियो, नयाँ नोट त कसैकोमा थिएन बिगिनिङमा. त्यो त जम्मा गर्नै पर्ने थियो हैन. But then we took a decision that those who comes to State Bank of Sikkim to deposit their own notes, they'll have to make a declaration. Okay, declaration with their ID card, given, and declaration which said that the money which I am depositing is from my legal source of income, and I'm prepared to establish its source whenever it is required or by any authorities if it is asked for. भनेर गर्दाखेरि सबैले everybody complied that, and thanks, I take this opportunity to thank each and every individual, those things who complied with our system, and we collected those old notes, we deposited with RBI through its currency chest. So that went on. So thanks to the people as well as my colleagues in the State Bank of Sikkim who totally cooperated the idea of implementing this demonetizations, which we did that time.
Right. Sir, as a leader of the organization, you have to face many challenges, criticism from the external forces. But when it comes from the internal team, because we know that recently bank was not in a very good headline when the discrepancies, financial discrepancies were reported. How did you how do you take this when it comes from the own organization?
No, see, this is a financial institutions. You're talking about frauds by calling it discriminations, discrepancies. No, so we are a bank. So frauds in banks is not uncommon today. I think in the last 5 years, if I'm correct, so there are frauds taken place in Indian banking industry of more than 5 lakh crores. 5 to 6 years, last 5 to 6 years, India ma 5-6 lakh crore ko fraud bhayo. Haina? So this happens, no? So State Bank of Sikkim ma pani yes kisimko frauds haru huncha, but then timely detection र त्यसको prevention चाहिँ important हो. हाम्रो ब्याङ्कमा पनि a big fraud, I think by our standard, I think that was a big fraud that took place. But then luckily because of our system and we detected that fraud in time, timely to detect. But if that fraud would have been left unattended or to detect नभएको भए आज त्यो बढेर कहाँ पुग्ने थियो, and that could have been a disaster for the bank. Right. So we detected it time, and then it is investigated. And I think in one case we are taking stringent actions. We are dismissing people who are not loyal to the institutions. And I think every employees, they understands that. So our decisions of the management and the boards in taking stringent actions, we have filed a FIR with the police. Police is also investigation. So I also like to thank the police administration for that matter and their investigation of the case. And I think we are at the close of recovering, or we are close to recovering those fraud amount also. So there's no worry. So I take this opportunity to tell all the people of Sikkim, our depositors, there is nothing to worry about. So we have system to recover those defrauded amounts. So, and we will recover it
with the timely intervention. Alikati अब technology र modernization को कुराकानी गरौँ न है. So banking को landscape change हुँदैछ rapidly with the using of AI tools, and there are so many technological advancements. So just as UPI भयो, mobile app भयो, SBS ले जुन digital transformation like कसरी तपाईहरुले embrace गर्ने हुँदैछ, maintaining trust with the traditional customers as well.
See, banking ma today, the information technology, IT, digital transformation has become very important. As a sabaile mobile banking bhancha, AI technologies apnaउँदैछ. And similarly, in State Bank of Sikkim also, we are moving ahead with these technologies. So today we are CBS core banking platform ma chhau. So again, we are also trying to improve our application systems. Recently, we on 9th we are again launching, migrating to a new application system for the bank, and for that matter, to make things to put it in a better conditions. That we have now hosted our data center in Mumbai. Okay, recently I think our chairman sir and our team visited the data center in Mumbai. We have hosted our data center in the Yotta data center, which is one of the biggest data center in Asia. हामी त्यहाँनेर, and त्यसको disaster recovery center भनेर, so we have in Noida. So in case our data center Mumbai ma kehi bhayahalyo भन्यो, we can recover our data from भनेर. So we are investing huge money in those in IT sector also. So why why we are doing this is to ensure हाम्रो डिपोजिटर्सहरुको जति पनि इन्फर्मेसन्सहरु छ, जति पनि डाटाहरु छ, त्यो चाहिँ सेक्युर होस् भनेर हामीले खर्च गरेर है यस्तो ठुलठुलो डाटा सेन्टरमा हामीले राखेको, बिकज हाम्रोमा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रपर छैन हैन। बिकज त्यो डाटा सेन्टर हामीले हेर्दाखेरि द्याट हैज 7 layers of security system, 7 layers of security system, and that data center hosts close to 9,000 companies हरुको डाटा राख्ने त्यस्तो ठाउँमा हामीले पनि स्टेट बैंक अफ सिक्किमको पनि डाटा राखेका छौँ। एन्ड सो आई वुड लाइक टु टेल all our patrons, depositors, that your data is safe, and State Bank of Sikkim is taking all care possible to ensure safety to your deposits.
Cyber security. Right. So SBS ले especially entrepreneurship अनि local business र startup लाई कसरी help गर्दैछ यो बारे हामी अझ elaborate second session मा गर्नेछौँ, which would be moderated by Dr. Tej Chingtam। अनि तपाईहरुलाई म जानकारी गराउन चाहन्छु कि I know as a moderator I might be missing out many questions, therefore we have open question session। तपाईहरु already बस्दिनु होला with your questions। We'll roll out the microphones. I request our volunteers to roll out the microphones. After one question I'll ask the audience to come and put forward your question with the MD SBS, anything under the sun. Alright, sir, अर्को तपाईलाई म यहाँनिर सोध्न चाहन्छु हैन कि SBS लाई चाहिँ अब पिपल्स बैंक भनेर भन्छ नि सिक्किमको, because there is so much of emotional attachment, sentiment धेरै छ नि है। अब आउने तपाईहरुको रोड म्याप के छ, इनोभेशन्स के छ कस्टमर्सहरुको लागि, and what kind of new things you are adopting?
Moving ahead, मैले अघि नै भनिहालेँ हैन, इन्फर्मेसन टेक्नोलोजीमा the things which we are doing हैन। So apart from that, हामीले अहिले I think many our depositors हैन, सिक्किमको citizens must be experiencing that in many things government revenue deposit गर्दाखेरि they don't have to come to bank, online collection systems हरु हामीले introduce गरेको छौं हैन। We have our limitations. हामीले mobile banking गर्नु सकेको छैन for obvious reasons, and we have not been able to bring lot of modern banking facilities to the people. But then with the time, I think our expectation is that we will be doing it in phase manner, but in a proper manner. हामीले त्यो गर्नु सक्छौं भने हाम्रोमा छ अहिले धेरैवटा चीज हैन। हाम्रो मोबाइल बैंकिङ आउँछ। Now we are trying to at least tell all our government departments to have their website ready. हामीले one thing which I want to highlight here is that there are a lot of criticisms made by the online हुँदैन सिक्किममा। हामीले बिआर काट्नु जानु पर्छ, बैंकमा
पेमेन्ट गेटवेको कुरा गर्छ,
बैंकमा जानु पर्छ, यो अनलाइन भइदिए हुन्छ। एन्ड डिपार्टमेन्ट्सहरुले पनि online गर्नु पर्छ। And then few days back we had a experience with one of the departments. उहाँले भने हाम्रो online गर्ने यो छ त्यो छ भनेर। Then I said okay, I'm sending my IT teams लाई जब डिपार्टमेन्टमा पठाएर हेरेको उहाँहरुकोमा आफ्नो वेबसाइटै छैन। So when you don't have websites, when you don't त्यहाँनिर सर्भर्स छैन भने, especially the data collection system हुनु पर्यो डिपार्टमेन्टको। For example, हाम्रो पावर डिपार्टमेन्टको आफ्नै डाटा सेन्टर छ हैन। एउटा बत्तीको बिल हामीले तिर्नु साथ हैन, अनलाइन तिर्नु साथ उहाँहरुको त्यो डाटा सेन्टर उहाँको सर्भरमा त्यो अपडेट हुन्छ। So the consumer gets that benefit, no? अब अरु डिपार्टमेन्टमा के छ, हामीले त्यो अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गरेपछि चाहिँ उहाँहरुको आफ्नो सर्भर छैन, उहाँहरुको आफ्नो डाटा सिस्टम छैन भने चाहिँ त्यो अपडेट हुँदैन त्यहाँनिर हो। But then त्यो नहुँदाखेरि what we have done is we have developed our own system. At least through our State Bank of Sikkim को वेबसाइटमा गएर पनि अनलाइन धेरैवटा बुझाउन सक्छ। तर अब त्यो अपडेट चाहिँ त्यो उहाँहरुले म्यानुअली गर्नुपर्छ डिपार्टमेन्टमा। So my urge to the departments, my appeal to all the departments, तपाईहरुले जतिवटा रेभेन्यू कलेक्टिङ डिपार्टमेन्टहरु छ, I think you should be ready with your server, with your data center. जहाँ चाहिँ मान्छेले एउटा रेभेन्यू तिर्यो भने त्यो चाहिँ इमिडिएटली तिम्रो रिकर्ड त्यो डिपार्टमेन्टको रिकर्डमा चाहिँ अपडेट होस् हो, सो दैट द अनलाइन सिस्टमको रियल बेनिफिट चाहिँ यु गेट। नो फर एक्जाम्पल टुडे यु चार्ज यो मोबाइल, अनलाइन मोबाइल चार्ज गर्नुहुन्छ हैन, or you charge your TV as online charge गर्नुहुन्छ TV बन्द हुन्छ तिम्रो त्यो सक्यो रिचार्ज सक्यो भने हुन्छ तर moment you recharge from your mobile हैन त्यो TV फेरि सट्टै चलिहाल्छ नि so that kind of system should be there in our departments also त्यो भयो भने I think State Bank of Sikkim is ready with this technology so if we get the similar kind of collaboration or similar kind of assistance from the departments I think Sikkimese people would be benefited.
Great. I think we missed out on something. Total employee कति भन्नुभयो तपाईले?
हाम्रोमा अहिले we have a total employees of close to 1,000.
1,000. And they have been a biggest trend because remote places मा पनि तपाईहरुको branches छ नि त.
Yeah, हाम्रो we have 58 branches. जति branch बाट हामी expansion जति business expansion गर्दै जान्छौं हैन हामीलाई employees को जरुरत हुन्छ त्यस्तै प्रकारले हाम्रो पनि employees strength.
Are you happy with the team performance?
Yeah, I'm really happy because as I told you earlier 10,000 crore business it doesn't happen like that without the effort of our employees system so मेरो जति पनि employees हरु छ State Bank of Sikkim employees को efforts जति छ उहाँहरु आज घर घर जाँदै छ हैन उहाँहरु कुद्दै छ unlike State Bank of Sikkim of the yesteryears as a State Bank of Sikkim ko employees they have become proactive and they understand the strength of their institutions and so they are working hard and they are competing with the best of banks in the state and as a 30-35 वटा bank so we are competing with each and every bank.
So that was I was asking you because nationalized banks and private banks are expanding like in Sikkim. कतिको competition छ State Bank of Sikkim like यो ब्याङ्कहरुसँग
competition त हुन्छ but then what I feel is that the more banks coming to Sikkim is good for the state and good for the banking issues because banks comes with their own agenda and business module so competition हुनु पर्छ without competition nothing will grow so here the main question is about growth of the state the जतिवटा bank हुन्छ all banks are doing good they are thriving competition छ competition हुनु पर्छ healthy competition is always good for the economy so I welcome जतिवटा banks हरु आउँछ जति branches हरु खोल्छ हैन so हाम्रो banking standard बढेर जाँदैछ today you look at जतिवटा banks छ सिक्किममा हैन सिक्किममा private banks नै भइहाल्यो these are new generation banks हैन उनीहरुको त आफ्नै setup लिएर आउँछ हैन but even if you look at nationalized banks or public sector banks their service standard has gone up tremendously so for that matter if you look at even State Bank of India today what State Bank of India is not what the State Bank of India was 10-20 years back to the totally transformed bank so these are welcoming sight we come across.
Absolutely. I would like to open this forum for the question and answer session.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for this wonderful session. I think it has been a very frank and very open discussion. I didn't expect this to happen, but I think thanks to MD sir, he has addressed all the issues which were sometimes a bit not compatible also. But I can say that it's very daring that he came out on the media and addressed all the issues whichever people might be having. So I think from henceforth, I think people will have all the dots clear. So that is one thing, sir. Another thing, like by the way, I'm not a coordinator. Nirmal, I have become president, by the way. So
okay.
Thank you. So
my apologies. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, like just to add, being a president of the MSME Association of Sikkim, I have only one request to Phurba sir. That is like, sir, what happens that a lot of people are putting their money in a bank every day, whatever business they are doing, say retail shops and all that. So, I mean, in future, if you have some mechanism where your bank can find out, say, somebody is doing very good transaction in a bank, and then automatically, say, once in a year, your bank's back office can, generate some sort of a, say, loan sanctioned amount can be, if he can be qualified, if he or she can be qualified, though he may not take it, but still, like, it feels good for him that he or she that he's been qualified for a certain amount of loan. after depositing the money regularly with the bank. So that can be a very welcome move because a lot of people are, a lot of small entrepreneurs require a little bit of working capital, sir, whenever they are expanding businesses. I'll give a small example. For example, during the time of Dashara, what happens that lots of meat seller and liquor vendors, they require extra money in order to deploy certain extra stocks because that time a lot of things sells. And that time they are looking for certain cash. Then no, if you can, somebody can get that money through the bank, then he will be able to repay that money very easily because that time their sales value goes up. So that is just a request from my side that it will definitely help a lot of small little entrepreneurs who are depositing money on your banks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj sir, and I congratulate you for being the president of MSME associations. And it's a very good suggestions, and we are always there. So we take your suggestions positively, and the one which you are suggesting, the financing the small business business units, I think we can think over it. We can formulate certain such schemes in future, maybe in microfinancing kind of things also, So there are a lot of microfinances takes place in the market today, so this we can formally bring into our system, So thank you very much for your suggestions. Now we definitely take this as very good suggestions. Thank you.
All right. I think Yogen has a question.
It is out of curiosity because we have been hearing since in 1968 onwards, there's a banking revolution by the Sikkim's own local bank, the State Bank of Sikkim, the state of Sikkim. But even today, when it comes to a young generation, because when it comes to banking along with the young generation, I feel the State Bank of Sikkim has to put forward a lot of an appealing tone to the younger generation so that they can also get habituated or they can get into the process of using the State Bank of Sikkim because it is confined more towards the older generation. So what would be, I'm just asking you to use this forum to appeal to the younger generation, what would be the USP of the State Bank of Sikkim so that the younger generation can also trust the bank or make a proper use of the Sikkim's own local bank? So that's one question. The other one would be, since I also come from the entrepreneurship background, this is also out of curiosity because even Dr. Tej would agree to that. When we were incorporating a company, the first thing one of the processes that really needs to be addressed is to open up a bank account. So, but mostly what happens in the state of Sikkim, because your company is incorporated outside Sikkim and to open up an account, there's a physical verification that is needed. But that becomes quite difficult for an entrepreneur in the state to open up an account in a bank in the state of Sikkim. There's a lot of lengthy processes. So if the State Bank of Sikkim, though this is not nationalist bank, but like if the State Bank of Sikkim also somehow gets into that and make it quite easy for the entrepreneurs or startup founders to open up a bank account in the SBS, and that can suffice one of the criteria for a startup, I guess that would be good enough. That is a suggestion, and the first one would be the question.
Thank you, Yon sir, for your beautiful questions. First thing is that, I think all banks have a policy, to catch our youngsters, to catch them young. I think our youngsters today, they are the future of our nation, So this is there in every banker's mind, So with that thing in our mind, if you remember the startup scheme, the Skill Youth Startup Scheme launched by the government of Sikkim, So we participated in that scheme wholeheartedly because one consideration for us to take up that scheme aggressively was because all these startups were done by our youngsters, very new entrepreneurs, So we thought that I think this is an opportunity to get connected with our young people, So with that, so in that startup schemes, we finance close to 2,000 units, 2,000 young peoples, And this is despite knowing the risks, the risks of failure in startups. We took up that, and today, I think out of that 2,000, I think that 30 to 40%, 40% of these people are doing good, And we are not afraid of losing. We are not afraid of losing. We are not afraid of failures. So we thought that even the 30, 40%, 40% of the youngsters, if they succeed in their ventures, so that would be a great deal of achievement for us, So this is with this thought that we wanted to connect with these youngsters, these young entrepreneurs, So I don't know what the system, what the policymakers, what the departments are thinking, but for State Bank of Sikkim, we have achieved 30, 40% of the youngsters taking up their own ventures, and that's the biggest achievements so far. So the other part of your question, the registration of the companies in Sikkim, so that's a question I think which needs to be dealt at the policy making level, because Sikkim, there is a confusion on Companies Act 2013, so I think all the banks are facing the same problem, that we wish more companies are formed in Sikkim. We wish more companies are registered in Sikkim, and we wish that more of our youngsters and more of our entrepreneurs comes up with bigger ventures. So for that, I think our policymakers needs to put in thoughts about that and take a decisions.
Right. So what we have often seen, MD Saab, is that apart from the government employees, most of the government employees, there are many people who does not want to open account with SBS, but they want to loan from SBS, right? So I think this is the right platform for you to tell that bank with us, bank with SBS.
Yeah, that I think this every banks will tell you that if you want to get any kind of help from the bank, then first you have to be the customer of the bank. Okay, it has to be customer centric, no? So in our case also, we tell people that, that you got to have your bank account with us if you need help. It is not that you just keep on banking with some other institutions, and then finally when you need loan, you come to State Bank of Sikkim. So that's not going to happen, no? So people who are coming to us without bank accounts, they're facing problems, and they knows the difficulties, no? So I appeal to each and every people of Sikkim
to park the money in your bank.
No, I'll not say park the money with us. At least you bank. Banking doesn't mean only parking money, Banking also means, getting connected, staying connected. So if you have a relationship with the bank, so it will be easier for that banks to appraise your proposals whenever it comes.
Exactly. Any questions? Okay, we have many students there. Ajur, please ask a question.
Hi, my name is Janendra Bakshi. I've come from Bombay. I've been staying here for last 1 month, observing how Sikkim works and what all things I can bring from Bombay to Sikkim to explore for monetization, cross-monetization, and so and so. Sir, I'm grateful to you that you mentioned that consider bank as partner. That's why I'm raising this question. Otherwise, I would have sat down, observed, and left. So, and then there has been a couple of experiences here. One is with Mr. Mahesh and one more with Mr. Yogain. These experiences were very important for me to understand from you, sir. And I represent a couple of companies from Mumbai, and I'm actively having a conversation with Seed Cell to how to bring those companies here in Sikkim. Right. Here I find one thing quite missing, sir. Or maybe you might have touched, but it is not in the public view, that what are we thinking about integration of IP? Because it is intellectual property, be it non-tangible, probably at the startup phase. But it is an asset. It's a property which has been declared in the law and in the everywhere. As well as when we create IP for sports, IP for any other thing, how bank can help local youth here in Sikkim, because what I see is that amazing design I see here. I see unique idea what Mahesh has been pulling off with Del Chili. You know, when I saw his packaging, I was completely like, I said, it is something, don't even open the package. And when one of my company, whom I represent, the CEO was here. And the CEO just tasted the little drop of his chili, you know, the sauce which he makes, and his whole taste bud got open. Now, cutting the long story short, how do we help people like Mahesh, and how do we support IP creation, the conversation which I had with Mr. Yogen at his office? There is a IP council in state government that is coming up. How do we support or maybe hand-holding with the intelligentsia of banking, and especially State Bank of Sikkim, because you understand your state the best, no matter how many states from outside, how many banks may come from outside, but the State Bank of Sikkim will certainly understand the nature of Sikkim. Therefore, how will you support sports and IP creators and curators here in Sikkim, sir?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Boxy, and I welcome you to the state of Sikkim. Thanks for traveling all the way from Mumbai to Gangtok and taking up the issues, I think a very important issue. We are open to ideas. Okay, we are open to valuing IP as an assets of the company. You know, that definitely has to be there. No, but as far as these entrepreneurs are there, no. So one thing I've been telling all along is the the missing link between the producer and the consumer. Okay, through this IP, I think one area which we can touch upon is how we take these produces from producers to the consumers. So the product which you mentioned, the Dalle chili of Mahesh, so Dalle is not known, I think, beyond the boundary of Sikkim or maybe a few other areas. No, so I think if we come up with the marketing strategy, maybe that may be from the system if we do that, and if we can develop that kind of channels, so that is going to help us, So why do today KFC comes from America to Sikkim? So why not Dalle goes to why not our Dalle goes to America?
But I think recently we had a consignment sent to abroad. I think it was all across news, but from Assam, I guess. That was from Assam.
Yeah, so similar kind of, I think, initiatives can be taken from the state of Sikkim also. No? So we have a lot of products, but we have not been able to, take it to the consumers. So we have not. So one product the Sikkim can think of is, we have a very, very delicious fish in Sikkim, this trout, golden trout, Unfortunately, or fortunately, we have a state, our neighboring state, Bengal, which relishes this fish dish, But unfortunately, we have not been able to introduce this fish to our people, our brothers in Bengal. Okay, so we should innovate. We should innovate in these areas, and if we can do this through any channels, so that would be good. So we should be able to connect our producers with the consumers, prospective consumers.
Right.
So that kind of strategies, I think we can. And all banks are open to any kind of ideas.
Me as a young entrepreneur, I'm just want to say, I'm very grateful to State Bank of Sikkim for giving me a loan and to pursue my dream. So as a young entrepreneur, I have been doing my business the past many years. So because of State Bank of Sikkim, I'm able to grow. And I'm very grateful. And I just want to say to all I see a few students out there. We have a say, dream larger than life. But I believe in dream what you are capable of. Our youngsters, when you go and approach bank and all, what we do, we give larger than life kind of thing. So it's very hard to convince the bankers. So I believe that we have to dream what you are capable of. Then when you are capable of doing something which you dream of, then it's very easy to approach bank and then pursue your dream. And I just want to say big congratulations to State Bank of Sikkim, and thank you so much for supporting the youth, the young entrepreneur. Thank you.
So we have a success story of SBS.
Thank you so much.
I'm Dr. Praveen, and I'm Director for Student Affairs, SRM University, Sikkim. Sir, on behalf of entire of Sikkim, being a proud Sikkimese, and on behalf of my university also, a big congratulations to one and all present here and to SBS also. And we wish you a big future ahead. Sir, my question is very basic. What is the vision you have for SBS till 2047? Thank you.
Vision 2047.
Thank you. Vision 2047 is set, the Biksit Bharat, Biksit Sikkim, Biksit Bharat from Biksit Sikkim. So we want to collaborate with the government of Sikkim and the government of India as well to take forward the economic development. Every sections of our nation, every sections of our population should participate and grow along with us. So we want everybody a part of the growth story of State Bank of Sikkim. Thank you.
I just wanted to know what your opinion would be on the State Bank of Sikkim coming under the purview of the Reserve Bank of India and the Banking Regulation Act, whether it would be beneficial for the organization, and if yes, then how difficult is it would be for the organization to come under the purview of the RBI.
Let me put it this way, we are following, I think, every guidelines Reserve Bank of India is issuing to the other nationalized banks in India. So we are self-regulated, so to say, you can say, that we are concerned about the people's money parked with us. We are concerned about the people's welfare in the states. As far as the licensing is concerned, this, I think, policy, it is not within my jurisdictions, and I think it is about the with the policy makers to take decisions in future. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Phurba Wangdi Bhutia, the Managing Director of State Bank of Sikkim. I just would only like to quote the famous Kishore Kumar, "Ruk jana nahi tum kahin haar ke, kaanton se milenge, chal ke bahar," whatever. Thank you so much, lovely audience. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big round of applause for MD SBS, Sir Phurba Wangdi Bhutia. Thank you so much. Thank you.